So first, you were saying that you felt irresponsible for having
Hmm.
things that I guess you said were going to waste. But when you said that everybody around you had that program, were you ever frustrated that you didn't? Was that ever a frustration?
Yeah, that was the only frustration, right? That like why don't I have that? You know, why can I not think about that? You know, like how why can I not come up with a meal? Why can I not like remember when to eat? You know, why do I always have to be like it's like I'm running, right? And I'm like, oh my God, and I just remember. Just like I don't know. It's like it's no there's no signal within me that remembers those things. Like eat food. Like it's like oh it's a job. So it's not like an internal like signal that says like okay prepare this meal. Oh I'm gonna have this meal later and that no none of that none of that. So I used to buy food and have it in the house because I have kids in the house. But other than if it was just me, the weekends when I was just me, I don't even think I went into the kitchen. And that used to bother me because I needed to learn how to do those things. Yeah. But now, like, but I never analyzed why people did it and why I didn't do it. In a way, I just used to say, like, okay, I have food disorder. I have this disorder, you know? So I just let it be that way. And they used to call me that too, you know? Oh, you eat like a toddler, or you drink like a toddler, or oh my God, look at you. Like, I've never seen you eat, or I've never seen you drink, or something like that, you know, those comments. And that will remind me, like, oh, maybe I should have something, you know, when they have comments like that. So, when I realized that it is actually an addiction because of the people that I talk to who says like, oh, you know, I'm full, but I'm eating. I'm like, how can you be full and eat? It hurts. Like, how can you want the pain? Like, I can't grasp that. It doesn't make sense to me, you know? Like, if I take one sip or like, let's say like before I even finish the glass of juice, I can feel the heaviness, right? And and I can kind of feel like oh it's something that's there and it's like it just interrupts my energy immediately for me to just continue to feel that is like I want a really pain like I want this suffering like on purpose. So it feels like people are doing it on purpose, like it's like they enjoy the pain. That's how I feel, like they enjoy the pain and it doesn't make sense. Does that make sense?
As
Yeah, but
saying,
yeah.
Nabiha, as we were, as you were saying that, Louisa commented down below. She said that's great. Saying like how you didn't have all those things that other people had, or you didn't have to go through that or grow through that. She's saying that's great, but where other people might see it as a blessing, it sounds like you saw it as a curse.
I thought always as a curse until actually I met people that on the veterinarian journey. And I'm like, these people are actually seeking what I'm actually running away from. You know, they don't want this food. And I'm trying to create the reminder, you know, because mine is manually while yours is like automatic. It's like, ding, ding, you have to have this. And I'm like, oh my God, when was the last time I had something? And then I have to remind myself something, right? So it's like the manual part of it that I've always wanted to be automatic like everyone else. But now every people are actually wanting to not eat. So that makes me feel like a little better. Like, okay, I don't have to work towards it after all. Because it even made life hard to think about. Oh my God, why do food exist was a question I used to have. Why does it even exist? Why do I have to do this boring job, you know? So, yeah.
Wow. So even to the point of like questioning the existence of it all.
I think I've done that pretty much my entire life. My entire life. Subconsciously, I think out loud, why does it exist? Every time I think about food, I'm like, why does it even exist? Why does it exist? You know? And then I've learned that some people cannot even bear the thought of not having food. It's the completely opposite. Completely opposite. opposite. Yeah, so that was very shocking to me, and it still is, you know. Sometimes I feel like I'm denying it. I don't want to believe that people are actually addicted to food. I don't want to believe it sometimes, but I see that it's true.
And why would you be in denial? Like, what would you be afraid to accept?
If food is an addiction like that, and people can't control themselves, and it's everywhere, it's very dangerous. It's like, you know, saying like a, you know, some drugs that you're addicted to, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So that means like, you know, it's like putting fire into the suffering itself. Reality itself is a suffering, you know? Like then on top of it, now you have like, you have to stuff yourself to even be more doomed. And it's like everywhere. And if you addicted to it, you can't even hold yourself. You see like these foods and stuff and you just want it. You know, that makes you even like more clogged up. You can't see the truth. You can't see the truth. Just like the book we were reading right now, you know?
Right. This book is, there's a lot of parallels with the book that we're reading, you know, not being able to see the truth. No,
Mm-hmm.
not being able to articulate or even voice the truth, not being able to hear the truth, right? And it's like there's a lot of truth that just kind of goes and passes right over us. It's interesting as you were, you know, as you were sharing in this, in your vulnerability, because I love, one of the things I love about you is you just give from your heart. You let these things, you get these things off your chest, as they call it, right? And people feel it because it's coming from that heart space. And BB says, wow, you were born for this journey, Nabiha. She said, you were born for this.
We all are,
Did you
you
feel
know?
like you were born for this? Like, does that resonate with, or do you feel like,
So what journey there? What journey? I see like, I don't feel like I'm on a journey like that. I feel like, you know, we all, we just got addicted to food, right? I just happen not to be addicted to the food, right? But we all just addicted to food, and that's it. We just have to let go of the addiction to see more. But for me, yeah, maybe I was saved from that addiction. You know, not growing up in a normal household and stuff. That helped me really. Um, it was like I was like a kid, you know, thrown in the woods somewhere, and then I had to survive there. You know, learn everything on my own. And I think that's the best gift anybody can give you, really. Just throw you into the lions, you know, really. So you can learn on your own, just like Tutu did right now, you know. That's the best thing you could do.
Tutu had to learn like that?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there is that saying, like, what do they say, Nabiha? They say, throw me to the wolves and I'll return leading the pack. You've heard that?
Yes. Yes. That's the only way. That's the only way. But when you think of reality, you know, you have nothing to lose. You know, you have nothing to lose. Either you get out of here, you know, awake, or you get out of here sleeping.
And like you said, it, it's kind of a double whammy. It's even harder when you have an addiction that no one knows is an addiction, right? Or
Hmm.
when you feel a constriction that no one knows is a constriction. Like when you say, imagine you were strung out on heroin, and
Yeah.
you know heroin is like your drug of choice. But then you go out into the world, you go out of your house, and everyone's a heroin addict. Not just you,
Hmm.
everyone,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so not only is it endorsed to keep using the heroin, it's enforced to keep using the heroin. So it's like, of course, right?
Yeah.
It's enforced,
That's what food is.
it's endorsed, of course, right? You're hit from all sides.
That's exactly, that's the kind of truth that I cannot accept. Like that can't get in, because that's how I see it. If you really will eat while you're full, or if you just want to eat something because of it's boring and you're bored and you can put something in your mouth because it's boring, like that addiction. That's what I'm saying. Like it's really dangerous. It's very dangerous. Like to me, unless I create the program, I create like that, like, oh, I need to eat this, okay? Like I have to create it. Like it's like a rock going inside my mouth. Otherwise, it's like something that it won't even register. Does that make sense? So for me to just pick it, and then it feels like it activates all kind of stuff in me. That is so dangerous. That is so dangerous. I feel like when I pick, I need to create that mental, like, okay, now we're eating this blueberry, okay? So I have to create that, but I cannot, like every blueberry, I have to create it. Otherwise, I can't just eat the whole thing. It doesn't even work like that. It doesn't work like that. It's like it will come back. It will not have taste. Yeah. But to have that feeling of like, oh my God, it tastes so good all the time. To have that feeling all the time, it's dangerous. It is dangerous. Yeah.
So for you, it's not like you have that payoff, that people are looking for. When a lot of chemicals and different compounds and stuff are going off in the body, and hormones and different things are going off in the body, and feel good feelings are going off in the body, you're not having all of that. It's more painful to go through it, and you have to manually do it. You have to remind yourself to do something that for you feels unnatural.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing that says like, oh, just go and eat that, like spontaneously, like go and just eat something, and then I'll pick it and I just eat it. It doesn't work like that. It's like it's a whole work for me. It takes time for it takes time, but if I was feeling like, oh my God, this is so delicious all the time, because I've had those times, okay? I have a window of like 4 days to 7 days to where I don't have to manually work so hard. It's coming there naturally. So when I have those moments and I'm like, oh my God, I can drink this whole thing without and I feel full, and that's the pain. The pain makes me stop, but I don't manually have to create that desire. So I know how that feels, and I'm like, oh my God, if I felt like this all the time, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. So to feel like that all the time, that's why we create a fridge inside the houses.
You know, it's so powerful, because that's actually what has kept me on the path, is discovering those feel good feelings whenever food is not involved. You
Mm.
discovering, like, having a conversation with somebody that you just feel so synchronized with this person, you feel harmonized with this person, you feel
Mm-hmm.
it's a dance of dialogue. There's a back and forth that the two of you are doing effortlessly. And when you get through that conversation, by the end of it, you look at your watch and 2 hours have passed. You weren't even
Mm-hmm.
thinking about food. You're like, wow, like time flies.
Yeah,
You ask,
but that's the real conversation. That's the real food.
right?
That's the real food. Like I couldn't imagine without those things. I couldn't imagine without moving. Like to me, like how some people think about, oh my God, if I didn't have food, I would die. To me, it's more like if I was chained, if somebody locked me in the room or something like that, that would have me go crazy. Because that's my source of food. Just going outside, like buildings doesn't even make sense to me. Going outside of the house, just taking fresh air. If I don't have that a day, I feel like I'm not alive, right? Like it doesn't matter if it's snow outside, whatever it is, I will go and take my walk just to have that fresh air, because I feel like that's type of a meal, right? Just saying hello to your neighbor is a meal. Just reading a good book is a meal. So I don't know where you can have the time of like, oh, let me stuff myself. Like, where do you have that time to do that? Because if you don't know a true nourishment, then you don't know how it feels like to actually just be light, and be in your own energy. And yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
You explained it perfectly, because if a person has never felt something, they might not know what they're missing.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're missing. They've never experienced that. And people would say that on both sides of the spectrum, right? Like, hey,
Yeah.
know, try this cocaine. You don't know what you're missing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Try this, you know, try this
Yeah.
opioids or try whatever. You don't know what you're missing. You've never felt this before, right? Try
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
these mollies, you know, try these amphetamines, try promethazine, codeine, and try, you know, all of these.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Mm-hmm.
or,
I'm
or try, hey, follow me to the Cheesecake Factory. You got to try this, right?
Yeah, when people say something like that, oh my God, this cheesecake or this thing, like you have to try it. It makes you. I look at that, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like I just don't get it. You know, when I first came here, someone said, "Oh, that person eat good," and I said, "What do you mean somebody eats good?" Like I don't understand certain terms. I don't understand when someone can be so fascinated about, oh, this cheesecake will make you feel this way. Like it doesn't click for me. You know, how do you know how it make me feel? Because I see this thing as like, oh my God, we need to eat that. And now you're telling me it's gonna make me feel this. I just couldn't register it, Jerome. I can register that.
Yeah. When I was,
But that's a drug. You see that? That's a drug. Because if it leaves you with a feeling that you are high, then I don't know. Then there's a really, it is a drug. One thing though that I don't understand, I'm trying to compare the things that are absurd to me and compare it with the food thingy. You know, when they say like you said, like, oh, come on, taste this cheesecake, it's delicious, whatever. And they don't understand that maybe like I don't think that's delicious. I don't think cheesecake would make me feel anything. Like I think it's weird that you even say that. But what is weird to me is like when someone don't work out. Like one day can go, 2 days can go, 3 days can go. Like you haven't stretched, you haven't walked, you just sit, you can just lay down for days. Like that is absurd to me, because then I feel like you're starving yourself somehow. You know, like you didn't move. Like today you did. Like it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me because I feel like I'm starving if I don't move. And I'm not saying like go to the gym or anything like that, but just getting up from your bed or from your sofa or something and stretch or do something or walk or like shake your body, or like you don't feel like you stuck, like you stagnant, or like I feel like I become like a gel, you know, like my whole blood becomes like a gel if I sit still for too long. So for someone to say like, oh, I haven't worked out or stretched or anything a whole week, to me it's like weird.
Nabiha.
Hey,
Oh,
Hey.
there you
sir.
I thought I would see you in
uh,
Africa. I thought I would see you in
well,
Africa.
you will. I'm going back.
You going back?
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
okay.
Yeah.
When?
To me, the world is just one big playground.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes.
I see you in Africa
I'll be
then.
here Tuesday. I'm still coming up through Ethiopia.
Okay. I need to go there.
Don't worry, I'll get it for you with the red carpet out.
Yeah. I can't wait. I want to talk to you about Africa.
All right,
So
but no problem.
we,
I did a video on it, so I'll send that too.
all right.
Talk to you in a few. I'm gonna go charge up. All
Okay.
right, peace. Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, Nabiha.
Yeah. You see, he's going to go and charge up. That's what I mean. Like, what do you do to charge up? Like, food does not charge people up. So what do you do when someone say like, I don't move? That feels like a car that been just sitting. You know, eventually you won't work. You know, it's just gonna be slow. I don't know, but people not moving. That's another truth that I can't accept. I thought everybody just moved. That's like part of like life itself.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to what you're saying, Nabiha, because yeah, of course, you know, you just keep a car in the garage. You know, it's a nice car. You have a sheet over the car. You want to preserve the car, protect the car. But if you just keep it sitting in the garage, you know, for years on end, you don't use it. Not saying that,
Hmm.
but if you even don't use it, then it starts to break down. You know, it starts to not become
Yeah.
used because you're not using the car. Same as the house. that nobody's living in.
Yeah.
You know, an abandoned house gets decrepit real quick. Real
Yeah. House is even better, but the car, you know, like you won't go to
right.
places. You know, you can drive the thing, you can go to places, you know, but you've chose to just park it, right? And it's like, why? You know, you need to drive the car. That's what we have it. You need to be moving, you know, like just like Tutu, you know, if he didn't go through that desert, he wouldn't learn what he learned, right? So for us also, like, I don't think we are these cars that needs to just be parked in these cubicles. Like, no, no, we are supposed to, like Alitam was saying right now, this whole planet is a big playground. You know, we here to just explore and have fun, but we're stuck in our own little miseries and stuff, and now we created stuff to stuff ourselves in, and now we're stuck in our lives. You know, it doesn't even make sense. We need to unstuff ourselves.
So,
Yeah.
so the book that we were reading, The Lies of Ajungo, they did end up stuck in those lies that had been told. They were stuck in the story. They were stuck in the narrative that had been sold to them and told to them time and time again. So for you, for you, Nabiha, that, food is different for you. When you think of food, you think of moving your body. So when you're moving, you're eating. When you're not
Yeah.
moving, sometimes you feel it's depleting. When you've gone a long time without moving, it's depleting. But when you're in movement, it's eating. That's food. Whereas
Exactly.
somebody, they think of food as something different. So everybody has their own idea when they think of the word, and their
Yeah.
own method for what is preferred.
Exactly. But I think the majority, you know, we think food. I still, even though that's my source of food, I still think, you know, these other foods, juices and everything are food because that's what we're programmed. That's how I'm programmed, right? But I know my real food. Like, let's say, like, even if I want to make juice, Jerome, I need to create the energy to make the juice, right? So I will get on a treadmill or I'll go and run or something like that. Then I will make the juice. So it's not like I'm looking for any energy in the juice, but I'm creating already energy to create the juice, you know? So it's not like I'm seeking the energy in the juice, but it's just a mentality thing that we think that that's where we get it from. But it's not. It's through moving your body, you know, and breath work, I think, you know.
And you also enjoy it when you make it. You put it in these nice little glasses, like a what is it, a margarita glass or a wine glass?
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Cocktail, margarita. I think it's margarita, yeah.
Margarita, you're sipping on it, so at least you're appreciating. At least you're
Yeah.
appreciating, it for what it is. Like it's a pleasure thing. It's not like you're guzzling it down, trying to get it in your body so you can have more energy, right? You're not drinking gallons of juice so you can have more energy. You're sipping on it. You're taking time with it. You're enjoying it. You're honoring it. You're appreciating it. You're grateful for it and what it's doing for your taste buds. It's pleasing the senses. It's pleasing the mind. It's nice to look at. It's nice to taste. You're like, okay, it's just this juice, right?
Yeah. I don't even go that far. It's just, you know, it's connecting with it in a sense of like, I feel like the juice itself or the fruits and everything, you know, every living creature here, every living plant, everything that is here has the same rights as us, you know, and same purpose or their own purpose. But what I mean is like, nothing is here to be consumed. You know, nothing is here to be consumed. So my intention towards the juice is never consuming. It's not like, oh, it's gonna give me any energy, it's gonna give me this, or it's gonna, you know, it's just part of like we connecting with each other because of, you know, we are of each other, right? And it's like my body being a nature itself and the apple I'm drinking being a nature itself, you know, we're just complementing each other in a sense, depending on my vibration towards it, meaning like my intention towards the apple, right? And in a sense, like back in my head, yes, I'm thinking like, okay, this body is a physical things that I'm maintaining. You know, you have to polish it, you have to clean it, you have to wipe it, right? But in a sense, I'm not seeking plans to complete the car. We are just, you know, using each other because of that's what we are here for, right? Like just like the apples when they fall on the ground, it's not like, you know, the soil is like, okay, let me consume it. It dissolves on it, right? They become one with each other. It's not like the ground just like swallows it, right? It's a harmony. Like everything is synchronized. Everything is going in sync. But if we go against the flow, that's why we're getting consumed. That's why we have these addictions. That's why we like you eat a whole fruit. You know, like why would you just eat and eat and eat and eat? Like if you eat one apple and then you eat another pear and then you eat this and you eat this, you haven't even like connected with any of it. Like none of it. All of it you just consumed and then you expect it to just do something wonderful for you. Like it doesn't even make sense. It has a purpose itself. It didn't come here to get consumed, right? So that kind of stuff is illogical to me. It really is logical to me, you know? Yeah.
I like you speak about connection, Nabiha. And it's really an important message on connection, because there were so many times in my life, perhaps someone else on here who was watching, where I was consuming something. But while I was consuming something with my mouth, with my tongue, with my teeth, I was also consuming content with my eyes and with my ears, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching TV or I was listening to something, I was being distracted, right? So the distraction was taking away from the connection of me just being in that moment with whatever I'm putting in my vessel. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as a result, afterwards, after it was gone, it was like gone. And I didn't even really feel it go in. So I don't
Wow.
that feeling that I was looking for. Now I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry. Now I have to go get some.
Mm.
Now I want to go get something else. And this next thing that I get, I'm still not connecting. I'm still not reflecting. I'm still kind of projecting my outward into some other form of media, some other distraction. So it takes away from that interaction, right?
Mm. Wow. So interesting. Because I've seen it. I've seen people watch TV and then eat, you know. Like you go to a movie theater, they eat popcorn and you're watching something, but you're putting something in your mouth. To me, it's impossible. Like, I mean, like, if I say something is impossible, like, really, that would be so impossible for me. Because that work, that mental work I have to put in how to eat this thing, like, I can't be focused on something else. My whole focus have to be on it, on how to eat it. But for it to just go inside my mouth and I just swallow it, that is like, no. It could never go like that. But then you see how disconnected we are, that we can actually just put something and we chew it and we swallow it and then we are not even connected to it. That's the problem we have, I think. Because I couldn't do that. Because I have to create that mental desire first. Like, oh, I love this and I need to eat it. But if I don't even see it, it can't even go inside my mouth. I can't even see if I can't even see it. But if I'm drinking, yeah, I know that it's okay. This is juice. But every time I take a sip, trust me, I'm not looking at the screen. I'm having some type of like, okay, I'm taking a sip. You're sipping over here. So to have that disconnection and that people just put something into their mouth while they are watching something or doing something, that's another dangerous thing. So food is what's keeping us here, really. I think about it now.
So what we're kind of saying, I guess, is another thing that keeps the cycle going is the disconnection from that energy flowing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're disconnected. So when we're not really appreciating these things in the moment, then it kind of takes away. It takes away from the interaction, and it even takes away from that level of satisfaction that you
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
actually have from the general interaction. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it keeps on going, it keeps on growing, and we just become more and more unaware of what is there because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the
The food is not the problem, The food is not the problem. It's our mindset.
mm,
The food is never the problem. It really isn't because it's everywhere and whatever we want, we can call it food, But it's our mindset towards it and how we consume things. That's the problem. Is how we behave towards food, and that's what kills us. And it's not even the food that will kill us, but it's how we do it, how we consume it. So it's not the food killing us; it's us ourselves killing ourselves in a sense. But yeah, having that connection and being mindful. It's so important.
Ellie Tom told us that the other day. I don't know who it was that said it. Maybe some speaker or some guru during a time period. But he said basically, he said, no one ever dies. We kill ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That we
It's true. No one ever dies. We kill ourselves. Yes. Yeah.
I was like, wow,
It
that
is
was
the truth.
deep.
Yeah. So that's the same with the food too. You know, the food is not killing us or anything. It's just us killing ourselves because it's your mindset towards it. You know, like if your energy is aligned from within, you only gravitate whatever energy you have within. You know, your vibration, your frequency is what is your reality, right? So if you will align with yourself, you automatically just have those feelings like, okay, this is not food and this is what this is, right? And you would have like a different approach to it, you know, like it wouldn't be like food like that. It would be something like that you're connecting with. This is like a connection.
So what do you imagine the level of connection? You know, with you doing these, the Pranaluya, the Pranic Church. You know, you're having these gatherings, you're having these conversations, you're having these different relations with many vibrations, and you feel all of this wonderful new information, right? What do you imagine for the future when it comes to the kind of connection that is possible for us as human beings?
I think, you know, in a sense, you know, if we change our way of consuming food, I think the planet also will change. Really, everything, the plants and everything. Like I feel like we're consuming everything that the whole planet feel like it's being consumed, right? But all it takes is like being mindful of what you put in, right? The more mindful we are, the more we are, you know, creating that vibration from within, and everybody's vibration is aligned. I don't think anybody will be able to consume in a sense, you know. You wouldn't consume. So if we stop consuming, I think this planet will flourish as well. It really would. You know, all this climate change and all of these things that we are blaming, you know, the cars and whatnot, is just our eating habits. It's nothing but our eating habits. It's how we consume, you know. So we're killing all the animals. We're cutting down all plants. We're doing all kind of stuff because the addiction, the more we normalize it. Oh my God, I have so many bees around me today. The more we normalize it, right? The more we would just create and consume and just eat of the plant, of the planet. So, yeah, we need to change ourselves. It's the frequency from within, you know. It's how we consume things, how we think, and how we see the world that needs to shift. That needs to shift. That's the only way we can save this planet, really. But other than that, we're just consuming it. Yeah. Yeah. How do you
I'm just
see it?
letting that digest for a minute. I'm letting that marinate. So once again, for the future, that you, it sounds like, you know, you see the future could be negative, but it doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have. It's easy to fix it. You know how it is like when you see a puzzle, like a game or something like that, and it looks like so complex. Like, oh my God, this is so difficult. I can't do it. You know. And once you find out the little rule behind it, everything is just, you know, it's easy. Like that cubic thingy, right? Like when you find out like the rules behind it, you know, it's easy to put those colors together, right? It's the same thing with this planet. Like I feel like we have always seeking to fix it on the outside. You know, we are trying to fix it on the outside. We're always trying to save the world in the wrong way, not knowing like, hey, saving the world means like save yourself, right? Save yourself, like get to know you and dive in within yourself. Like if you want to know things on the outside, if you want to change anything, right? So if most of us did that, which is, I think is the niche to, you know, peace. If most of us just did that and we would teach each other how to actually dive in within ourselves and not walk around and say, I would heal you and I would do this for you. But instead, like, okay, hey, the power is within you. If everybody was guiding everyone towards themselves, everybody will find that power within themselves. So it will be more of us awake to ourselves. And then you would only love the world the way you love yourself, right? But now everybody's seeking to be loved on the outside, not knowing how to love themselves. So I think just turning your gaze towards yourself is how to save the world. Yeah.
Blessings that we have. Blessings.
Yeah, you don't think so? Oh my God, the time passed. Yeah.
That message, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see someone called Maleta Candy have been trying to come in and say something, I think. Do you have any questions that you would like to ask? I see that you're requesting to get in, but it's up to Jerome, actually.
Oh, we were just about to transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this,
So,
yeah.
all right.
Emperor said, solve your inner world and your inner world.
Yes. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Just go inward, work on you. That's how you save the world.
Yes.
Thank you, Jerome. You preach that every day, and that's awesome. Yeah, we need more of that.
We're all just doing our part, you know.
All right. Much love to you.
Take care.